Hi, aligned souls. Welcome to the Soul Revival podcast, where we have meaningful conversations to help you explore tools and healing methods that help you return to your soul self. Join us as we help you merge the ethereal and the material worlds, allowing you to live your most fulfilling and aligned life. I'm Lindsay Stanton, author, somatic practitioner, intuitive Reiki master, and grief coach.
Hello, I am Autumn, a believer in miracles, intuitive guide, and psychic medium. We're your hosts and guides. We don't just talk healing, we live it. This is where soul meets strategy, spirit meets structure, and our highest selves take the mic.
Welcome to the third episode of the Soul Revival podcast. Autumn and I are so excited for today's episode. We're deep diving into a modality that has been a complete game changer for both of us on our journey. Don't worry, this will be one of many topics, I can assure you, on this specific type of modality. And what we're going to be covering today is meditation.
You'll want to stay tuned throughout the entire podcast for a special announcement all about angel signs. The power of meditation has pulled me out of flight or flight mode. I think that there's so many different healing techniques to meditation, and it's not sitting in a quiet room and although that's the way that I personally like to do it, I know that shoe doesn't fit for everyone. Lindsay, what are some other ways that you like to meditate? I know that you meditate so much.
Yeah, I do. And I think it's so interesting, right? So I actually never meditated before Roger passed away. And 100%, I'm sure he and my entire divine support team led me to it. So I'm if those of you who are listening and don't know me couldn't tell from the first several episodes, I'm pretty type A, pretty high drive. And with that comes the struggle being very real of turning my head off at night. So I've always struggled with sleep as a result. I'm always trying to problem solve, think of opportunities, and do the things while I'm supposed to be sleeping, right? And so definitely after Roger passed, and those who've been through grief know that you just can't sacrifice sleep. And you have to, like, getting 8 hours plus is 100% mandatory, especially the first few years of your grief journey. I mean, that's a whole nother episode. I won't dive into it too much, but I would say, like, protecting my sleep is a boundary for me 100%. But so I personally, and I know people have their preferences, some people meditate in the morning, people meditate at night. I personally love to meditate at night. I typically will do affirmations in the morning and meditation at night. I know a lot of people, and they say you attract the people that are like you. And I know a lot of people who struggle with meditation because of what you just said. You know, they cannot be a quiet yogi sitting in a corner, like being silent for, 30 minutes, an hour plus, that is just not in their wheelhouse. And I could say I still, even after years of meditation, would fall under that camp too. I would say it's not necessary, actually. And that's kind of the beauty of it. You can 100% do a short meditation. And if you're trying to figure out, and it has just as much benefit too, by the way. But if you're trying to figure out how do you even start, which I think is a real struggle for a lot of people, the easiest way I have found with the clients I work with, especially those who struggle to kind of shut their heads off at night, is to do a guided meditation. So nothing long. Early on in my journey, I literally, I don't know, I just intuitively knew that I needed to meditate. So I'm sure I was getting divine downloads that I didn't even realize, but I was like, I just started meditating. I listened to my first meditation was I listened to How to Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. And at the end, I'm a huge Audible person because, again, I'm going nonstop. So I'm always listening to a book while I'm doing something else, generally working out. But at the end of his Audible, he shares a few meditations. And I was like, oh, I felt very drawn to that. So he had one that I think was like 6 or 7 minutes long. It involved at the end a guided visualization, which I, for the first few years, definitely had as a tight part of my practice. But just having the guided meditation changed it for me in a way that made it doable. And what's beautiful about doing a guided meditation is even if you think like, oh, I've never been able to meditate, or get all those negative thoughts out of your head, because if you start with a short guided meditation, what's amazing about it is the more you practice it, even if you think that you're still having thoughts the whole time, the more you practice it, the more you're retraining your brain. So as soon as you hit play on that meditation, you're actually going to start your body's process of preparing yourself for sleep if you're using it, like, for example, like I do for sleep. And so even if you don't think you're meditating right, which isn't even a thing, you are definitely retraining your brain to start prepping your body for sleep mode, which has an insane number of residual impacts, including allowing you to more easily receive dream visits, which will be probably multiple episodes that we talk about. But meditation is the pathway to so many things. And like I said, it was something that I was called to super early in my journey. And it's a constant, just like protecting my 8 hours of sleep. Meditation is like 100% something I have to do every night. Even I've like had crazy travels times before where I got in because of a delayed flight at 3 a.m. And you better bet before my eyes are completely closed, I'm still like listening to that guided meditation to get my sleep, because without it, I just don't sleep as deeply. And I just feel like I also feel like it's a little bit of like a knocking on the door of the other side, and helps take our egoic mind offline and prep it to be able to receive and step into the 5D a little easier.
Oh, I love that. I think another thing for meditation, it's like this energy protection, right? It aligns you with your energy and your boundaries, and it creates this alignment for all that's meant for you in your path. Um, Yeah, I would say, I think that in the first couple episodes, I stated how I was in a bookstore with Mackenzie and a book had fallen off the shelf and it was titled You Are Psychic. Well, when I got home, I'm like, I have to see what this book's about. And it was all, the first chapter is all about meditation. So I'm sitting there on the floor, laying down on the floor, trying to read the meditation in the book. And I'm like, okay, this is not working. I'm trying to, focus in on it. So then that's when I resorted to a guided meditation on YouTube. And I would say immediately, my mind didn't shut off, but my body felt safe. And because my body felt safe, it was something that my body craved because I felt like my body was always in this fight or flight mode. And then noticing the power of meditation. I mean, I started meditating after that guided meditation. I was one that would go 20 minutes every day. I was meditating. But you're so right. The power of meditation, it doesn't need to be the 20 minutes. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 3 minutes. Um, and my spirit team even started to bring through to me for people that were having, like, that I was in sessions with that were like, oh, I can't shut my mind off. Um, if you're driving in the car without any radio stations on, if you're just in the car in silence driving, that's a form of meditation.
Yes.
When I was a child, I used to climb trees and I would sit in trees for hours, especially at the park. I would always go to the park and just climb the tree and sit in there. And I realized that was a form of meditation, just being grounded with the tree's energy, but also just a way to decrease the thought process that was happening. Um, Through the meditation, though, when I started meditating for 20 minutes a day, I really noticed such a shift in my energy. I realized there was a lot of dis-ease in my body, and through the intention of the guided meditation, it created this flow through my body. And with that flow, it was like heightened intuition. Like I just knew, like I knew what I needed when I needed it. And I was a powerhouse in the beginning, and then it really also brought peace in the present moment. So every moment I was able to just accept what was happening and create a space between my reaction time to things.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Sorry to interrupt you, but as you were talking, like it creates space for emotional intelligence.
Yes, and a lot of people need that, especially in today's world. Um, I would also say that with that emotional intelligence, it allowed me to step into who I needed to be in that moment, not for anyone else, but for myself.
Mhm.
And it allowed me to show up as a better mother, as a better person, as a better wife. I got to a state in my meditation where I felt a part of me, because I don't have a dishwasher, so I am the dishwasher. There was a time where I was so grateful just to have hot water in order to do the dishes with. I didn't mind. Mind you, with the topics and life getting crazier, I haven't been meditating for 20 minutes a day, usually about 5 in the morning. I'm a meditator in the morning. I like to set the intentions. Um, and I've realized that, getting away from that meditative practice of more intentional meditation, um, it has me grounded in the now, but not as deeply as I was. And I would love to get back to that, and I should. But, having a newborn and being a wife and all the things, it's really hard. So I resonate with anyone out there that's like, oh, I need to do this for myself. We can take this oath and do this together.
Yeah, exactly. And I think knowing that it can be a light, a commitment that you stick to and you're consistent with, because like I said, you're training and like you alluded to this too, you're training your physical body as well as, your brain, that you're going to be going offline and opening yourself up. And I love what you said too about it resetting your body. I think what's so important is even when you're not meditating, and the science all proves this, it helps our nervous systems regulate. So even if, you just build a consistent 5 minute a day practice of meditation, you are going to bring your best self to the situation, because you're going to bring yourself to the situation that is regulated. And there's nothing more important than having a regulated nervous system when you're thinking about your emotions and what you're bringing to the table. And I think, like, for you, it was resetting that fight or flight mode. For me, it was resetting the anxiety, panic, and darkness with my grief. And it just had such a powerful impact. And I think in many ways, it retrains your subconscious mind to feel hope when you might have otherwise not felt hopeful, whether it's, because of grief, or if it's because of trauma, or both. It creates space, back to the emotional intelligence piece. It creates space for you to think about and start to feel into what it could be like to have a safe space, and to also experience joy again. And it cracks that door open for you, which I think is a huge, huge shift, especially with grief.
Yeah, it's like enlightenment, right? It brings you up to enlightenment and you realize, oh my goodness, I am not separate. Like we are all one, we are a whole. And that enlightenment piece can really shift your perspective of each and every day. And then also, I know that you are a manifesting machine. Meditation is the key to aligning your energy to all that is and receiving those manifestations and those co-creations as well.
Exactly, because you're exactly right. Because it takes your egoic mind that creates all the negative Nancy stuff out, it kicks it out the window.
Yep,
Like, so like, you can just go now, please.
exactly. No, and I think that you're right too, because in everyday choices, right? Every day we're presented with these choices of which way we're going to go. I feel that through meditation, your heart goes first. Like you clearly hear your heart operating over the mind, the egoic mind. Um, and I think that that center is so important for, for me in my personal life, but also everyone listening that is aligned to this podcast right now as well, because that is bringing the healing frequency that the earth needs back to it. When you're giving yourself that love, it is admitting out to the frequency of the
Yes.
earth, and it's that domino effect and that ripple effect that really matters. When you breathe in the love, you're also breathing out the love. And I think that that is so important for
100%. And
for
I envision like an infinity loop when it comes to that, like the giving and receiving and the energy and energy out, like this, the infinity symbol of love. You're exactly right. We have an exciting opportunity to share with you.
Did you know each week inside the Soul Revival community, we have a giveaway? One lovely soul is gifted something sacred, a Reiki session, an intuitive reading, a powerful course, or even access into the community itself. This isn't just a giveaway. It's a soul blessing, a moment where healing meets divine timing. You'll feel the shift, you'll see the signs, and you'll know you're not alone anymore. Say yes to your intuition, your healing, your next chapter. Enter now at the link below in the show notes labeled Soul Revival Giveaway for your chance to win.
Let's get back to today's episode. I feel like I could go on and on about all the, important takeaways of why to meditate. I would also add to, you mentioned driving and, getting into a meditative state when you're silent driving. Another one I would add to that is walking. Like when I walk my dogs in the morning, I get so many downloads when I'm walking my dogs in the morning. And for those who aren't familiar with the term download, it's basically a channeled message from your divine support team. So tapping in and tuning in for guidance, in even when you don't realize it, just by taking again that like negative egoic mind offline, by doing something that's repetitive and semi-monotonous, like just the same walk that you do every single day or the same drive that you do every single day. Those simple things allow you to get seamlessly into a meditative state and can allow you to be super open and receptive to getting messages. And what's so beautiful about this is the more you do it, the more you'll get it. I mean, it's so amazing. The more you tap, and I would say that about everything that Autumn and I are going to talk about during all of our episodes. The more you tune into this, the more you use these modalities, the more you use these tools, the more you tap into the signs and symbols that you're getting, the more you will receive. And that is the beauty of it, because it grows and expands without you even having to try. Actually, with you intentionally not trying, it all just happens for you.
It's trusting the process, right? Trusting, knowing that, oh my goodness, I don't know how this is working, but it's working, trusting that, and then receiving the gratitude that comes from it in that infinity sign loop, giving that gratitude back. Yes, meditation has really calmed my nervous system. It also, I would say when I was knee deep in my meditation in the beginning of my journey, mind you, so much has happened between then and now, and I do still meditate, not as deeply as I did, mind you, which it doesn't matter because it all does the same aspects. But when I was deep in meditation, I felt better. Like I was losing weight, I was healthy, I was very emotionally intelligent on what I was putting into my body. Like even the water, the food, everything held a certain vibration. And when you're at that enlightenment, you realize, oh my goodness, just by holding something, I don't want this in my body. So it really does dissolve the ego as a whole, as a whole.
So true. So true. So I think obviously this is a topic you and I could go on and on about, and it impacts so many things. Trust us for now, but just know we're going to be deep diving into this again and again because it is so important. And it's probably one of the first things that I did early in my journey. So if you are very early in your journey, I would highly recommend starting a meditation practice and just sticking to it. Stick to it, create a routine, commit to doing it for 2 weeks, and then just keep doing it. But like once you do something for 2 weeks, like it really starts to become a habit, and it's just such a game changer. You'll see the results. So don't get frustrated if you can't shut off your brain. I was just going to suggest that we round out the episode by maybe giving some of our favorite resources for meditation to give people an opportunity to start the process. And I'll start with the app. I've used multiple things over the years, and all of them have been amazing. But the one that I probably love the most and that I've used consistently for probably close to 2 years now is an app called Open. And they're a California-based company. The founder was a former like Silicon Valley tech guy who went on a deep journey into awakening and created this beautiful app for meditation, sound healings. They do live events at their studios in California. You can tap into them virtually if you are not in California, which of course I am not. But they have some absolutely beautiful meditations, all different links, all different intentions. And I have just loved that app. So that's called Open.
Oh, awesome. I typically will go to YouTube and type in guided meditations, and the one that calls to me, I will click. I usually choose whatever is in for the present moment, as well as there's a lot of guided meditations for new moon energy, full moon energy. Full moon energy can really help you release the limited beliefs around meditation as well. Even HC frequencies on YouTube, I love even playing HC frequencies when I'm doing dishes or anything like that to help clear out any stagnant energy and harmonize the energy that is around my atmosphere every day. But YouTube has been a huge help for me, as well as Gaia. I watch Gaia a lot, the network, and they have a lot of guided meditations on there as well. Joe Dispenza's meditations are on there. So yeah, those are my resources, but I am a lover of YouTube.
I love that. And I think that's actually, I want to point out that's a difference between morning meditation versus night meditation. So, I would say that morning meditation, I could definitely see that changing it up would be super helpful and getting you kind of in a high vibration for the day. I would highly recommend the opposite approach with nighttime. I have a couple consistent go-to meditations, like probably two or three that I use. Again, because as soon as I hit play on those, my body's like, okay, time to get into sleep mode. It recognizes immediately versus having to like change it up and switch different meditations. So I did just want to point that out. I think that's a difference of like if you're doing AM versus PM meditations.
Oh man, yeah, I love just setting the day. Well, you do affirmations, and that's the thing about spirituality. It's so different for everyone, and it's what resonates with the person and what works for the person that is doing it. And that's what
Your
I
body tells you, like I mean, I felt called to do it for sleep because I knew what my body needed that. Your body tells you for sure.
exactly what it needs. You just have to listen, and it's the
Yes.
key to getting out of that fight or flight mode to listen. And that's oh yeah, like Lindsay said, we could talk about this forever, but I know that we're going to have more episodes in the future um, around meditation and just the scientific studies that it does as well. So I'm really excited for those future ones too. Are you seeing repeating numbers, feathers, or hearing songs at just the right time? Those signs aren't random. They're messages from your angels. Join the Soul Revival August 7th at 7 p.m. Central Time for a powerful live course. Angel Signs. We'll teach you how to receive, decode, and trust in divine guidance. You'll learn how to spot signs from your angels, understand their meanings, and strengthen your connection to the other side. This isn't just a class. It's an activation. And trust me, your angels are already nudging you to say yes. Reserve your spot now. You don't want to miss this. Link below.
Did you know that amazing programs like this are free for members of the Soul Revival community? Jump over to the link below and join us today. Yeah, so check out the resources that we mentioned. I will specifically tag the app that I use in the show notes. And Autumn, I don't know if there's any specific ones on YouTube that you want to tag in the episode, but just give you some resources to at least help you get started with this practice. Just commit to it right now. Like, just give yourself permission to commit to it because it is such a game changer. So,
And setting the intention of meditation. Okay, I'm going on a walk. Like I'm setting this intention to feel into the vibration of meditation, or I'm driving in the car with no radio on. consciously put your awareness on the intention of meditation. But yes, I will totally link some of my favorite YouTube meditations down below in the show notes as well. And like Lindsay said, just give yourself permission. You are worth this. You are worth this.
Yes, aligned souls, you are worth this. Go meditate and reach out to us on socials. Let us know what's working for you, what you're struggling with, and we're here to help. We're here to be your guides. So let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, we will close out today's episode, and we look forward to listening and talking to you next week.
Episode 4. Oh my goodness.
4.
If today's words stirred something in you, that's no coincidence. Your soul is speaking and it's ready to be heard. If you resonated with today's episode, Spirit is cheering you on, encouraging you. Start choosing yourself again. Start saying yes to your healing and join our sacred community over at www.thesoulrevival.com.
Because healing is better when we do it together. If you love this episode, be sure to hit follow, leave a review, and share this with someone who's ready to return to their soul self. Thank you, Aligned Souls.